I found a gem of a town here in Arkansas, Calico Rock. And with me now is Gloria Sanders. You're with the Calico Rock History Museum and Visitor Center, but actually the real title is a little more complicated than that, so I'll let you say that.
It's a little complicated because what we are is the Calico Rock Museum Foundation, which is the large umbrella. And underneath that umbrella comes the Artisans Cooperative, which is what you're in right now, the museum, history, and then we have a science center. We also have the marketplace, and we are also now a designated Main Street program.
Wonderful. So Calico Rock, I know, kind of started as like a steamboat destination and then really boomed when the railroad came through in like 1802? 1902. Yeah, and your museum really does such a wonderful job of showing those things. But you also have other exhibits such as the Veterans exhibit.
We have a lot of exhibits. What we have done is taken the history of Calico, all aspects of it, not just one, and put it into a building so people can come and see their heritage, which is important to me, and I think it is to the town as well. So we've maintained and we are preserving the history. Our motto is the bridge between the past and the future. So we are trying to keep that so that people don't forget. That's the big thing, is we want to maintain this history.
Yeah, my dad instilled in me a huge love for history, and I think it is so important to know where we came from. But I mean, even if you're not a history lover, this is such a beautiful place to come, and you actually can fall in love with history. You can spend hours in this museum. I just went through it. It is gorgeous. So we're also going to go down the street and see what else we can find here in Calico Rock. Just up the hill from the History Museum, we found ourselves at Calico Riverview Inn. This is such a quaint, beautiful place. Kathy, tell me about this inn.
This inn was built in 1923 by Ben Sanders. It started out as a stop along the railroad. It was for business travelers, the railroad workers themselves, to come and stay here.
And then you, with some partners, have restored this place.
Yes, my sister and her husband and I bought this in 2022, in January, and it took us about a year and a half to do the renovations, and then we just opened June the 1st.
And you did a beautiful job, and I understand you're actually a bed and breakfast, so tell me about the breakfast that you serve.
We're a bed and breakfast. We serve a full breakfast, usually eggs, breakfast meat, some kind of delicious pastries to go with it. But our guests have seemed to be very pleased with it, so
I'm sure.
We're very proud.
And you also host some retreats. You've had one before, and you've got more to come, so tell me just a little bit about that.
Okay, just recently we had a retreat just for women. It was called Camp Galloway. These were ladies who didn't know each other. They'd come from different cities and got to know each other Friday evening, and then Saturday morning started with yoga in our backyard. And then we had massages. We had a great time down in the nook in the museum, and we had meditation that morning.
That's incredible and something to really look forward to. You have got just a beautiful place here, Kathy.
Thank you.
Gloria has brought me down the street on Main Street to this beautiful Speakeasy. This is such a treasure.
It is. It's one of the newest additions to the Main Street, which I felt you should come and see. It's wonderful. Brenda and Dan own this. They are in Chicago, but they have put a beautiful highlight to this. We have music on Friday nights, or Saturday nights, sometimes on Friday nights, but most of the times on Saturday night. They just recently started serving lunch, and so that'll be really nice. And it's just a special place. Their attempt is to try to make this into a community, family location where people can come. They have the widescreen TVs, they do all that, the games and do that type of thing. So it's just a neat little place to come.
This is amazing. Okay, before we go, tell me just a couple more things that I need to make sure to hit here in Calico Rock before I leave.
On Main Street, we have a location of, again, part of the museum, but it is the marketplace. And it's a clothing and antique store. We have a lot of antique stores on Main Street, so or consignment shops. That seems to be what is main in the town. Also, we have 3 boat docks here. We have 2 up at this end, and then we've got one off Chesapeake Ferry, which is the oldest one, I think, really. But it's really good, all 3 of them. The river is very, very great for fishing.
Lots of trout.
Lots of trout. We actually started the museum so that the women would have something to do when their husbands came here to fish.
I love it. This is such a quaint, unique, beautiful town. Thank you so much for showing me around. It has been wonderful.
I'm glad. Come back and see us. There's lots to come.